Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. It's 7 days now since the death of the 27-year-old IT professional Yuvraj Mehta. His car fell into an unmarked construction pit. Last Friday, if you remember, at around midnight, Yuvraj Mehta was driving home in Noida through dense winter fog when his car reportedly hit a low boundary wall and plunged into the deep pit, which was full of water. Now, the site had reportedly been dug up a few years ago before the work was stalled. Now, Mehta, who didn't know how to swim, climbed onto the roof of his car as it began to sink and rang his father, who rushed to the scene and alerted the emergency services. His father told the reporters present over there that Mehta remained there for close to 2 hours, flashing the torch on his phone and shouting for help. And then his cries stopped. Now, by the time the authorities recovered his body, almost 5 hours had passed. Now, few questions which need to be asked here. Why has the accountability not been fixed yet? It's 7 days. Who is responsible? CEO Noida Authority has been removed and an SIT has been formed. But is that enough? Now, rather, now what we see is that there is an effort to malign the image of Yuvraj, portraying him as a spoilt brat. And now why I say that, I'm going to show you a few pictures. Now look at this footage carefully, which has been, it seems, deliberately leaked out by the police. Now, this is the visual which I'm talking about, where Yuvraj is partying with his friends. This is just before the accident. Probably he must have finished his work. He must have wound up with his friends, which is so very normal. And he must have gone to a bar. But this video has been leaked deliberately by the police. Now, how did it come out in the public domain? That's something which is very concerning, but no answers yet, zero accountability. But the footage very, very clearly shows that he was partying, and apparently, what it meant was that apparently he was drinking in the bar, because there is also a food bill voucher which is doing the rounds on the social media. And I'm going to show you a bill, which is the bill of which is the liquor bill. It carries some food bills, which has an exorbitant amount. So the question which we are asking is that, and the food bill and the liquor bill has been made viral so that Yuvraj's death can be projected as a case of drunken driving. Now, is that how the police is going to resolve the case? Apart from this, there are questions around the urban planning and road safety in India as well. Now, let's see the satellite imagery. Now, I'm going to show you the satellite imagery, which is very important. And this is of the area where the car met with an accident. Now, if you look at the design of this road very carefully, it has a sharp 90 degrees turn. Now, look at this picture very, very carefully. Just show the satellite imagery. Now, this is the picture which I'm talking about. It shows a sharp 90 degrees turn. Now, the question is, who builds these kind of roads? And imagine Yuvraj Mehta driving in this dense fog on a road like this with a sharp 90 degrees turn. So, will we get honest answers? How will the family get closure? Where does the buck stop in the Noida techie death case? Lessons, it seems, are never learned, but our system is designed to make the same mistakes over and over again. So, where does the buck stop here? Today, we'll begin with the discussion. Joining me this evening is former IPS officer and security intelligence officer, Mr. Yashovardhan Azad. So, thank you so much for joining. We have activist Anil Sood also joining us. Thank you so much, Mr. Sood, for joining. And I'll begin with Mr. Sood today. You've been working a lot on such kind of issues. I would want to ask you, an SIT has been formed. The Noida CEO has been removed. We also saw visuals of Medha Rupam, who happens to be the CEC, Gyanesh Kumar's daughter, who's the DM of Noida. There were lots of questions being asked of her, but she chose not to answer. She quietly sat in the car. That visual was quite viral on the social media. Now, who is responsible? Is it enough to remove the Noida CEO, the Noida CEO, the Noida Authority CEO? Is that enough?
Neeluji, it's all farce, it's joke. administration, so-called administration nowadays, it's nothing but sitting in AC office and working on files. On grounds zero, there is nothing. Special investigation team SIT as they have formed. To my mind, it's silence, inaction, and time pass. Throwing out CEO of Noida Authority is inconsequential. The moot question arises: how did this road pass the test of IRC? Number one. Number two, where who was responsible for compliance of IRC guidelines of putting the barricading, luminous paint, and warning signs at least 200 meter prior to this turning? Because whenever you approach any cantonment area, we used to read a board TCP 200 meter aage. That means traffic check police, which meant that vehicles were police, this army vehicles were warned to shift to the left side. And wherever there are dangerous roads, there is a potent danger. You find somewhere some signage prescribed by IRC. Now, moot question arises: who ignored these signages first of all? Number two, who ignored to prosecute those officers who committed this violation? And number three, who passed the bills for this laying this kind of road? So this is a failure of complete system, not only one department, be it police, be it the PWD, be it the State Highway Authority. I am told this was a state highway. And even if it is a city road, then the entire city administration is equally guilty. And I'll share with you, all highways, all expressways are nothing but death traps as on today. NHAI has filed a funny counter affidavit in one of my petitions before an NGT, where out of 479 admitted violations, only notice has been issued to file. So I'm just sharing this to show you the casual attitude of all authorities right up to NHAI. It's not, buck doesn't stop at traffic area traffic TI or local police officer or DM office or SDM. It percolates from, the rot has percolated from top to bottom, and everybody goes simply by reports prepared sitting on office. Nobody is worried about any citizens, their safety, the compliance with the norms. They are all worried. तनख्वाह मिलती है, दफ्तर आए, दफ्तर आने की तनख्वाह मिलती है, बाकी काम करने की कोई तनख्वाह नहीं. It's a shocking attitude.
Right. I want to come to the right. I'll come to the police investigation now, and I want to come to the video footage, Mr. Azad, which has been leaked. And Lavanya, if you're there at the backstage, I want you to repeat those visuals to show that this particular video of Yuvraj Mehta partying with his friends, which is so very normal, has been deliberately leaked out. Now, I'm sure the restaurant owner or the bar owner would never do a thing like this. Why do you think that this has been this has been leaked? Who leaked it? Are these not the pertinent questions? And to the extent of also putting out the food bills, the liquor bills in the public domain. And there is, it seems, and don't you also think, Mr. Azad, that there is a deliberate intention of maligning Yuvraj Mehta's image as a spoilt brat? You have to unmute, Mr. Azad. Yeah.
It violates the right to privacy. In fact, only recently the right to privacy has been notified, in which this kind of a release of a person's personal activities is absolutely legal. Now, these kind of CCTV images are there only for requirement of police investigation, etc. But giving it out to the press is absolutely wrong. That's number one. In any case, Whether Mr. Mehta was eating or drinking or sleeping or doing whatever, that does not deprive from the responsibility of the state administration and a number of people who are involved in this particular case. Now, let me get at this issue at two levels. One is, if you see the history of this kind of a ditch which was formed, is a saga of absolute corruption, apathy, and mismanagement, which points dangerously to an ominous warning. It's a kind of a collapse of the urban governance in our country. This in 2004, the Noida Authority thought of building a sports city and a sports city by 2019, but the bids were called for only 10 years later in 2014. Now, thereafter, in 2021, the CAG came with a stinging attack and said there has been a loss of 900 crores to the UP government, and in fact 9,000 crore loss to the entire state. And mind you, the High Court said that it's a massive scam of corruption, and the CBI got into the whole thing. And then the entire project was shelved for certain period which was extended. But what is shocking is that in this period, this kind of a joke of a design, which Mr. Sood rightly pointed out, was no one thought the DM and the SP or the traffic police or the collector are directly responsible in what is happening in their district, whether it relates to national highway, state highway, complete highway, space technology, or whatever. What are they there for? They are regulatory authorities. So the first thing was that whose responsibility they should have found out. They have issued notices and said that this should be a protected area, it should be a covered area, there should be barricades, vagara vagara. Now, that is what they should have done. But mind you, a simple thing like this, which happened out of mishap, and when the person fell into the ditch, an whole army of the NDRF, SDRF, fire brigade, the police just couldn't do anything about it. They carried the boats, but they forgot the rowers. They forgot the things which the shafts. It's a shocking, shocking apathy. It's a heartbreaking incident. It shows that the officials on the spot are absolutely incompetent. When they got the information from the control room, they get an idea of what has to be done at the spot. And NDRF, we are giving help to Myanmar, we are giving help to Nepal. And for a single thing, taking a man out of the ditch, they could not do. I think it's a very, very sorry story. It's a heartbreaking story. And as an officer, I really feel ashamed that this kind of a thing could happen in near the capital, in one of the most glamorized cities of Uttar Pradesh, where all the retired IPS and IS officers live.
But Mr. Azad, we've not seen any heads rolling as far as the police department is concerned. Do you think because the constables were present, there were police officials, it's not that they were not present at the site, but they refused to go down deep into the water? And just saying that it is very cold. Then someone also said that apparently the SDRF team or the NDRF team, we do not know for sure, but they said that there are lots of iron rods inside that basement, because of which, there was an old man or old gentleman who didn't want to go deep down. Now, what would you say to this? And should not the heads roll as far as the police department are concerned?
No, no, the police department is not involved in this. The department which is actually involved as has been pointed out already. The NDRF is the authority to take care of all this. The SDRF is the authority to do all this. Fire brigade is the one which is responsible for all this. Yes, the traffic police can be blamed to that part, that when they had saw this, the faulty traffic design, which is so obvious, glaring right in your face, they should have immediately shut off the letter to the NHAI, State Highway, PWD, or it was, that this is wrong and this will cause fatal accidents, and thereby put up with the help of the municipality or whatever, told the revenue authorities that danger signs, signals, etc., should be put here, or barricade should have been done, or a tin shed, etc., whatever should be done so that people don't fall into it. So that is, you see, a sheer incompetence of not doing your job in the beginning. And secondly, when something happened, complete inability to perform what you are made for. This is what the SDRF, NDRF, and the fire brigade are meant for. And they didn't do it.
But as far as the investigations are concerned, Mr. Jha, do you find that the investigation is in the right direction? Is it at the right pace? It's 7 days now. Last Friday, this incident took place. We do not know. In fact, more than answers, there are more questions. It seems that they are hell-bent on maligning the image of Yuvraj Mehta.
Well, as far as the SIT is concerned, the SIT must be on a right track, because the ADG Bhanu Bhaskar, after all, there is nothing very, very complicated about this case. It's an absolute, rash and negligent act amounting to homicide, because this kind of thing you cannot just leave like this, because obviously that if an accident happens, nobody will survive unless help comes. And here the help came, and even then it was not possible. So as far as the investigation goes, fine. There'll be a couple of engineers here or there who will be held responsible. But the point is of civil administration, is the point of governance of cities, is the point of massive corruption in any project. Noida Authority is a fountainhead of corruption. People know some of the very senior IAS officers have been prosecuted who have headed this institution. There are people who have the land in Noida, they don't know what to do, because the Noida Authority tells them that you cannot sell it, nobody can buy it, you cannot do anything with it. There's a whole complex. There are so many cases pending in the High Court relating to Noida land. So Noida Authority is a hotbed of corruption. So by removing him, it doesn't make any sense. But what about the district magistrate? What is his role? What does he or she do? Isn't he supposed to at least see in the district what is happening? What does the traffic police do? I'm so shocked to hear this, whether she's the daughter of the highest in the land or the lowest in the land. She is a district magistrate. She should own up. The traffic police should own up. The PWD or the state highway, they should own up, or they should be named and shamed, because this is something which the ordinary citizen should raise their voices. The civil society should raise their voice. And I'm shocked that even retired officers are not speaking about this. At this rate, we'll have a wide range of collapse. Contaminated water in Indore, somewhere else, people dying of cholera. Something has happened in Mau. So, unless you raise voices, nothing will happen. Nobody questions when a new authority comes. Nobody questions when a new DM comes. What is their experience? Why they have been put there? For that matter, even for the Chief Election Commissioner. How are they posted? These are issues. And I'm very glad at least people like Anil Sood are raising voices on a number of issues on various platforms. We need many, many more people like this.
Absolutely. And in fact, I must admit very candidly that since morning, I tried to speak to about 4 or 5 IPS officers, but I don't know what was the reason, but I found them very reluctant to come on the show and even speak about this issue. I would not like to name them, but I'm glad, Mr. Jha, that you've raised these issues. And I'll come back to Mr. Sood now. There have been random arrests which have been made, 2 builders who've been arrested. Do you think that these arrests are in tune with the investigation and these arrests should have been made?
I'm sorry, Neelu. As Mr. Jha has very clearly and candidly spelled out the guilty DM. It's not, direct message or DM in your Facebook post or on your messenger. District magistrate is the head of the district. He or she must be aware of what is going on and how the things are happening in the city or the district. And district magistrate is supposed to visit each and every nook and corner of the district. But is it happening? Answer is no. because they go from their Bangalore to their office, sign the files, take the meetings, go back home. Have you ever seen, barring a few, I think hardly you can count them on fingers, few DMs, those who have done good work. It's not that some of them they have not done good work, but as Mr. Jha rightly pointed out, Noida is a prime posting, not only for any other reason except for rampant corruption and which goes unchecked. Now, what did the traffic police do? Why this road was operational at the first instance when everybody passes through this road? Nobody has seen this. It's mind boggling. What did they do? What PWD did?
I was speaking, Mr. Sood. In fact, I was speaking to a few residents of that area, and they said that this was such an intersection at Noida 150 that many times in the past such accidents have taken place. And in fact, not one, but at least 10 to 12 people residing in that area have told me. And they have informed the police,
See,
but nothing was done about it.
see, that is why I'm saying na, that these officers they come to their office, they say that salary we get only from coming from home to office. We don't get salary for working in the office. So that salary comes under the table or other considerations. It is surprising that how did this road was approved, passed by the authorities. This is first and fundamental mistake. Number two, how and why did not they place the barricading, the warning signals, and illuminous signage? Why? Who was responsible? PWD and traffic police both. And why the DM is still continues to be comatose on this issue? The moot questions are, these are uncomfortable questions. Nobody wants to ask these questions because it may antagonize the powerful people. What powerful people? They are public servants. It is, and unfortunately, the mindset what has, as over the years, the mindset which has been developed. State public is not the stakeholder. Public to which these people are supposed to serve, as public servants, is nowhere in the any scheme of the any scheme of the act or any scheme of implementation. Public is nowhere as a stakeholder. Who are the stakeholders? Those who are investors. And why investors are stakeholders? Because they can bribe under the table. Public will ask uncomfortable questions. So public is invariably shooed away and is kept away. The classic example is your CAQM. You were coughing, so I was joking with you. You know, CAQM, who are the people sitting there? The people, those who have failed in controlling pollution in their state. Now, once they have failed controlling pollution in their state and they are sitting in CAQM, do you think they will slap their own face while sitting there? It's nothing but shifting of goalpost. So SIT also is nothing but shifting the goalpost, arresting those few people. Fine, you have arrested those people. What about arresting the people, those who are responsible to monitor this situation? What about arresting the people, those who were supposed to remedy this situation? What about people, those who were supposed to take preventive action on this situation? Because it's all scapegoat. There is nothing. They are junior most, they may suspend junior most people and try to cover up. The question is, why did NDRF people or SDRF people, they did not know swimming? Where was the gear? So does it mean that NDRF is nothing but national?
Let me get in, Mr. Jha, on this. That SDRF and the NDRF people, are they not supposed to be trained in swimming? Should they not know swimming? Because I heard somebody saying, no, it's not mandatory for them to learn swimming. Is it so?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. Though they should do swimming, but getting somebody out of a ditch full of water is definitely the area of their domain. They're supposed to know. They're supposed to have life jackets. They're supposed to have these tires, inflated tires. They're supposed to have these boats and the rowing arm so that they can go and get it. Where is the issue? This is hardly an issue to be celebrated. It's shocking that in SDRF and NDRF, they don't have the capability to do it. And if at all there was a question of ditch filled with water, didn't they have in their camp somebody who knew swimming? Now, these are things when you have an emergency response, there is a kind of a response which is calibrated, which is already coordinated. And these different kind of responses are built into the training program.
You
Shocking.
know, Mr. Azad, the more I read this story, and I think I always think that had it not been Yuvraj Mehta, had it been a VVIP's son or a daughter, could he have been saved then?
Neelu, you'll be shocked to know that the kind of apathy, incompetence, and misgovernance which exists, it could have happened even to a VVIP's daughter because or a son, because the kind of people which are there, they are there. Where will you get a new one? Yes, you would have got a helicopter and you would have put something from there on the top. Maybe that's a different thing. But then the air authority, what is that, would have said that we will not allow helicopter to fly after 6 in the evening. Whereas Clinton's helicopter landed in Agra at about 8 or 9 at night. I was in charge of the security arrangements. As I said, no, 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 no. Our guys will say that helicopter is not allowed. So they said, no, no, don't worry. We'll put it on a bullock cart, put the lights, and then we'll go down. So what I'm saying is, you respond to situation according to the times. Is it ridiculous that in a world class city, you can't rescue a man from a ditch full of water? You can't go down in your life jacket and swim across? Shocking.
Shocking. It is indeed shocking. And Mr. Sood, I mean, I'm going to ask you the last question now, before I wind up the show. That who do you think? Okay, before I come to you, Sarvesh Tripathi also has joined. He's a Samajwadi Party spokesperson, but apart from that, he also stays in that area, and he gave us a lot of information when this story broke on that day. Sarvesh, thank you so much for joining, and you joined a bit late towards the last lap of our program, but 7 days into the investigation, more questions than answers. There are food bills being put out on the social media that Sarvesh was that Yuvraj, I'm sorry, Yuvraj Mehta was partying and he was having alcohol. Now that kind of a narrative which is being built for Yuvraj, I want you to comment on that, and also the bit about that intersection. There is a satellite imagery which shows that there's a 90-degree sharp turn on that road, and you yourself had told me that number of times accidents have taken place on that particular spot. So I want you to speak on that a little before I just
It
take the
is.
comments from our panelists.
See, it is on record. What they had complained about it. Several accidents took place in the same area, and now you call it investigation. It is not an investigation. It is a sham because investigation. The basic investigation would start with transferring the DM of that district. My senior here, Jha sir would know would be very clear about this, that any SIT investigation cannot function without DM, that same DM being present in that district. The district disaster management authority, the chairperson of that authority is DM. So if the
Yep.
DM is ab initio responsible for the act, had she been there, had any serious officer would have been there, he or she would have assessed the situation and would have called SDRF initially. He or she would have started with at least SDRF, because the thing that the risk perception was there. The ditch was very critical. So it would have, the officer would have called SDRF. And I was watching your this discussion before when I got admitted into it. Any uniform personnel, and every uniform personnel is trained to swim, as per my knowledge at least. And I have served in CRPF. Any police personnel is trained to swim. NDRF is specially trained to swim because they it is their speciality. for the disaster management sake. So NDRF is trained to swim. It's just that NDRF was called much later. It was when NDRF came, he was not there. Yuvraj Mehta was not there. So the main thing is risk assessment. The main thing is accountability to be fixed here, and government is doing nothing. The responsibility, the accountability is not there.
Right.
Because we all know, because we all know who the DM of that district is.
Take the concluding comments now from Mr. Sood and Mr. Jha. Mr. Sood, to you first, what would you say towards the end? Are we really going to get some honest answers, or it'll be just a one-off case, few days of outrage, and the thing will be a past chapter?
Neelu, mark my words, nothing is going to happen. Nobody is going to be punished except low rank junior most officers, and it will be an eye wash. I am sorry for the loss of child for the father, and I am also sorry to say that our entire administration, district administration, not only at Noida, in every city of the country, has gone to dogs. Over to you.
Mr. Jha, I'll come to you now for the final comments. I think I'm not just running short of words of what to say at the insensitivity and the apathy of the system.
My final comments are that the CEO Noida Authority, for the sheer, laggardly pace of this project, which started in 2004 and never finished and became a scam, it became one of the biggest, corruption scam. He should be suspended. Number two, the DM should be suspended for not taking any action regarding these things. Number three, in the SIT, the first person who should be booked is these Vishtain or whoever authorities. They did not bound that area properly. And then the concerned officials, whether it's the traffic police, whether it's the revenue, whether it's all municipality, all this should be booked. And there should be a proper white paper released by the government as to why this happened and why this should not happen again.
I just hope and wish that the administration, the Yogi government, should listen to these honest voices who've come on the federal today to voice their opinion as to where the rot lies in the system. I hope the heads roll. Apart from this, the administration also realizes where they have gone wrong. We don't need any more Yuvraj Mehta, please, dying in the country. Thank you so much, Mr. Jha, for joining. Anil Sood, Sarvesh, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.